Hello everyone, can you hear me? If yes, then type yes message in the chat window. I'm audible. Type yes message in the chat window. Okay. Great. So I cannot see more options in my chat window. Anyway. So fine. So let me tell you something about the projects that I'm planning. So first of all, there are some instructions for the project team guys. So two things are here. For Python group, I have already assigned a project PDF, right? And that project PDF contains a lot of things. So whosoever are in the Python group, please read that PDF and prepare your checklist of questions, whatever you have. One thing that is very important for project, okay, so I can just show you that most important point. So I'm gonna open this. Oh no, we don't have Kahoot today. I just missed it. So where is project? Project PDF I have somewhere. Yes. So this is your project PDF, and because the project is very much important, AI based container billing services, and you have to read this. This is your synopsis kind of thing, and what are the goals that you have to achieve during the project or product creation. It's a kind of product actually. So this is user experience, dashboard expectations, and a couple of sub points I have also mentioned here. Okay, then backend and algorithm expectations, tech stack, and here's the most important point is the progress of the project must be committed on your GitHub individually, on your individual account. So that means if you are the part of the project team, okay, so you have to kind of maintain all these things. And for one question, you have to use Python or any other language framework. That will be fine. The application that you're going to build, it must be running on in the Linux servers and in the containers as well. Okay, so first of all, if you read this tech stack part, this is written here, Python or any other language, and whatever framework you want you can use. In the backend you can use Python CGI or Python Django or Python Flask, and in case you don't know Python, so you can use your own tech stack. That's not a problem, right? Anyway, that's not a problem. So in short, yes, we have all this, and same this PDF project this project PDF for a Python group only, right? So I'll be making another PDF for web group, okay, and whatever others group we have here. All right, so in case you have any question, specifically the Python guys, please we can connect maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow morning, early morning. This is very much up to us. Okay, so I'll be also dividing some teams, because we have around 12 or 13 people in my Python group. Okay, no worries. So now going back to the session again, and we are going to talk about Jenkins, right? So in Jenkins we have done installation. Alright, we have done created a job, we have done poll SCM, and we have also done kind of integration with Docker. Right, and we have integrated your Git code with Jenkins. So every commit message, whenever we are committing on GitHub, the job is getting built or triggered. Fine. So this is kind of something that we have done till yet. Okay, now time for making one more step. So that step is very easy. So let's say if you are a developer and you are writing a code, and that code you are submitting after testing, definitely you are submitting to your Git version control system, and this is your Jenkins that is running somewhere else, right, running on your server. Fine. So now you have to create a job. That job can take data from your Git repo. Okay, we can do that. I'll tell you, Khushi, right? Job, and because that repo has code along with Docker file, so definitely the job will build that code. So the building outcome will be Docker image. Okay, will be Docker image. Now what you have to do, you can create another job. If the build is successful, then this job can take this Docker image and it can push it on Docker Hub. Okay, so it will be simply taking, so this will be job 1 and job 2, because this job 2 is very much dependent on job 1, so we can say this is a pipeline job. Okay, now the second thing is because rather than writing two jobs, what we can do in Jenkins, we can use a plugin, right? That plugin can automate these two steps in a single way. So that means we have a plugin in Jenkins, and that you can, so that we can use that. So I have some questions here. Why are we not creating container in another system with Jenkins? So you mean Jenkins is here in another system, right? We can do that, that's not a problem. But when you have Jenkins server, generally Jenkins can build the container in another machine, so that part is also not that much tough, but yes, you can do here. So where you have to configure your Jenkins user to connect your another machine. Okay, but we can do that. As of now I have single server, so I'm doing both things here only. Okay, so simply it's very easy. Anyway, so first of all let me just go to my dashboard Yesterday there was a slow internet, but I tried a few minutes back, so it worked. So I'm going in Jenkins. This is my username and password, and I'm gonna write just manage Jenkins plugins, and then I'm gonna go to available, and here I'm going to search, right? I'm going to search for Docker. So in Docker we have a plugin called build and publish. So that is installed. I can check installed. So if I check here, see cloud bees docker build and publish plugin. So this thing is installed as of now. So what I can do, let's say if I want to build image and push it on Docker Hub, definitely why I need to push it on Docker Hub, because the reality is whenever this Jenkins server will be building that image, it will be pushing out of somewhere else. But this generally in this Jenkins server we never deploy that container application. So we have another server here, Docker is running, and that machine will download that image and then it will just deploy that container. So job 2 is going to connect that way. So how this second server will pull the image when you push from your Jenkins server to this. So the reality is server number 1, that is Jenkins, in another OS we are using it for building purpose, and here we are also using push the image on Docker Hub. Now in another server where Docker engine is running, we can pull the same image and create container. Okay, but this connection will also be maintained and triggered by Jenkins. Okay, so I hope you are understanding it, that this connection will also be triggered by Jenkins, so it's not a problem at all. Okay, and now I'm a developer, I'll do something right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my same Git repo that I have used yesterday. So that was this thing, yes, Docker file in my portal. I'm just gonna take that example. I'm gonna create a new job. Job name is April summer code freestyle project, and okay. Right, let's not write any description as of now. I'm going to use this Git repo, and it's done. In the PostSCM, I'm going to write every minute. So it is going to check my Git repo in every minute, and then in the build step, see what we did yesterday, we used only execute shell, but here we have Docker build and publish. So what I'll do, I'll just click here. Why this option is here now? Because we have installed that plugin. So I'll click here. Here I have to write the repository name, so let me write it the same way, docker ashu slash April summer or April 2020 web, let's say version v11 or 007. Okay, So why I'm writing this repository name like this, because this plugin will build the image by this name, and to push that image, you know that I have to write it like this: username, image tag, image name, and the image tag. Okay, because to push the image on Docker Hub, we need Docker registry username and password. So what I'll do, I'll just click here and I'll add a new username and password. So my username is Dr. Ashu, and there is something that is my password. Okay, and I'll save this. So once I save this, in the drop down menu I can check this is, or in the drop down menu. So this will be my image name, and it will be something like this. Let me apply and save. Fine. So if I open my Docker Hub as of now, so here you will be just seeing, so 7 days back there was an image, no recent image found. So what I'll do, I'll make some changes in my code here itself. I can directly make changes in my code here by editing. I don't have to just copy it from local machine. So I'm just writing another tag, let's say h2 hello Docker with Jenkins, and this will be a kind of change that I'm doing. Alright, I'm going down, type in just message April last commit. Okay, and I'm just committing it. When I'm committing the changes, you see here, okay, so I got 4 commits, and the one that is very recent, 10 seconds ago, and here I'm going just waiting for new build automatically. See, actually it got failed. I don't know why, but let's see why it got failed. If I check the console output, it is saying that not able to connect. Okay, most probably my Docker is not running. So systemctl status Docker, yeah, it's not running, so I have to start it and make this Docker enable. So when I do enable, every time I start my system, automatically my Docker will be running. Anyway, so because I don't want to make any changes now in my web application, so what I can do, I can just go and build it now again. So I'm building it. So once I'm building it manually, let's see this time. So it is taking time. See, it got successfully pushed. So console output, everything is working fine. First building image, then now tagging, inspecting and pushing. So okay, now if I see here by refreshing it, right, see, few seconds ago this got pushed. So that means now Jenkins can do an automatic push. So simply what we have done, so as of now this is my project where I got 3 builds. Okay, and these 3 builds are is it this one? No, not that one. That one. Fine. So first, second build failed, but the third is one. So what's happening now? See, so whenever developer will change and commit it, this plugin will be automatically taking that code and then it will build it. So this kind of feature in Jenkins we are calling automatic build. automatic build. Okay, and the build outcome is Docker image. Okay, it can be anything else, so that's why we are calling that Jenkins is a continuous integration tool. So why continuous integration tool? Because we are committing it every time here. Alright, no worries. So I hope it will be fine, because you know that's the very much same thing that we have done yesterday. Okay, so if it is all okay for you, just say okay message on the chat window. That plugin and automatic taking the commit message, and it's all fine. Yes. The plugin contains the command, so if you don't want to use plugin, you can just do it manually. But using plugin is a good option because we have so many things. So as of now it's all good. Okay, fine. Now let me tell you echo. Okay, so is there echo? There I don't know, but if there is echo you can tell me. I can wait for a few seconds. I don't know why it's coming. Alright. Alright. Why it is coming, I'm not able to figure out. Okay, great. So now the question is from my end. Let's say this machine is to build Docker image. Okay, but let's assume in couple of cases or in few cases the Jenkins machine is not allowed to install Docker in the same system. So what you have to do, you have to install another OS, and here you have to run Docker engine, and this Docker engine you will be using for this build operation. Okay, so how Jenkins can connect to Docker engine that is running remotely? So how Jenkins can connect to this Docker engine? So what I'm doing, I'm just removing Docker from here. I want my Jenkins can build my images in another server, because that server is specifically created for Docker engine. Okay, so I need answer. So one answer I get, that is Docker socket. So maybe that answer is correct, but any other option that you can tell me? Using environment variable, using Docker socket. So what I'm doing in meanwhile, let me just create another instance for you. Any other answers? So two options I have, by Docker socket and by Harsh and Rhythm. Okay, so let me just, I need more answers by the way, so you don't have to just keep quiet. just throw your opinion here. Meanwhile, I'm just creating a normal sample machine, and here I'm gonna write this remote Docker engine. Okay, and here I'm gonna just use, let's say, existing, or I can say (2375) port number from anywhere. Review and create and launch. So I mean, is there no one, because except Harsh and Rhythm, no one is giving answer. Okay, fine, but how Jenkins will use SSH Piyush? So let me just take that IP and okay, so I'm gonna answer your question, Rhythm, but let me install Docker first. Okay. So it's 2375 and that Docker is running. So first of all, I'm getting two questions, and the question is why we need Jenkins and Docker engine in two different machines, OS 1, OS 2. Okay, fine. So let me tell you, this is very simple question, and I don't have to think before answering it. See, first of all, you have to think about Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins is a CI/CD tool that can be running in an OS, or it can also run on your laptop. That means locally you can install. Okay, now a company called, let's say, as of now I can just take an example of Wipro. So Wipro is doing couple of things in Docker these days, and Wipro have 10 projects. All 10 projects are in Docker, but then these 10 projects are from different client. So do you think different client container will be running in the same OS because of security reason? So what Wipro can do, Wipro can create Docker engine 1, Docker engine 2, Docker engine 3. That means 3 or 4 different OS, where this machine will be running entire project of a client 1, client 2, client 3. Now I have multiple Docker engine, because in this Docker engine there is one project for related client is running, another. So do you think we have to install Jenkins here also, here also, here also? Right? We never do that. So we install Jenkins in one common machine, and in general we can use Jenkins to connect that yes, this time I want to build here or here or here. Okay, I can keep increasing number of Docker engine, then we can use that. Okay, so I hope you get the answer, Rhythm and Mukesh both. Alright, just say yes. Alright, now if you are getting this, I'm also expecting yes from or no from other people also. If you guys are also understanding the same, just type yes message in the chat window so that I can just simply take that one more example. For other people, if you are also understanding or getting, you can tell me now. As of now, we are having it. It's not a rule, by the way. We are having it on the same OS, but because of the client projects that can be on different machines, right? So we need to connect our Jenkins in a different Docker engine. Now, if you are all are understanding, then how Jenkins can connect, to, let's say, this Docker engine or this Docker engine or this Docker engine. How Jenkins can connect to multiple Docker engine, because here you can only host one Docker underscore host variable, only set one variable. That variable will have only one value. So how Jenkins can connect to 1, 2, 3 Docker engine, and how it can decide for this particular build, this Docker engine needs to be used. Of it, this build, this Docker engine will just use. So my simple question is, anybody can answer. This is my Jenkins machine, okay, and I have Docker engine 1, Docker engine 2, Docker engine 3. So how Jenkins can connect to all the Docker engine, because here even if I take Docker underscore host example, then I can only type either this IP port or this IP port or this IP port. I cannot set this variable 3 times, or let's say 5 times, 10 times. We cannot set that variable because it will keep replacing. Alright, so I hope if you are understanding it. Where in plugin command, if you are getting my question, probably think and then answer. So that means you are saying, maybe Rhythm is saying, I can just go there and in the configuration we have, let's say if I'm adding another, so Docker host, this is a host URI, that is for credential. That means why it's there, because sometimes we are not using Docker registry, we are using a internal host. So this is a Docker registry URL, not the Docker engine URL. I don't know how many of you are understanding this situation. How Jenkins can connect to multiple Docker engine. Let me tell you the fact. Jenkins can have only one Docker host environment variable, and here you can only write IP colon port number for either this IP or this IP or this IP. You cannot write for all three IPs here. If you do it IP1, then it will be only connecting to this, or 2 or 3. So first of all, tell me, are you understanding that situation? How Docker engine will connect to how Jenkins server will connect to Docker engine that is running on a different machine, because you cannot use multiple IP in a same host. If you're understanding this, then try to answer it. Waiting for another message from your side. If you're understanding, do you have some idea how we can connect that? Right, I don't think so you guys are understanding, but anyway, so with the slave agent JLNP and agent.jar, what is that? Slave agent. Okay, let me first tell you how this is going to connect to one server first. But Harshvardhan, how Docker socket will be connecting to all? Anyway, so let me just first connect with this Docker engine. So I know that this Docker engine is connectable or not. Let me check by this. So 2375. No, 2375. I'm not able to. Okay. No, Jenkins can connect to multiple because there will be so many jobs that will be running. Okay, so what I'm doing first, if I want to configure this in my Jenkins machine, so as of now echo dollar host has no variable, so we have etc profile file, and here I'm gonna just write export docker underscore host is equals to tcp :/ this 2375. And let me check that echo dollar docker underscore host. Okay, so now what I'll do, let me just create a Jenkins job just to check, can my Jenkins test remote docker engine is able to connect or not. So I'll be just adding a execute shell script and here I'll be checking echo $docker underscore host, save and build. And if I see here, it is actually not printing anything. See, that means my Jenkins user is not able to print that variable. So what I have to do, basically, in my Jenkins job, either I can configure this first, export docker host is equals to TCP : this : 2375, and then I'm gonna do docker images and build again. Second job done, and I don't think so. I'm not getting anything as of now. So I'm gonna just pull some image here. It's a pull alpine. Okay, and I can build now. Yes, it got pulled. Fine. So if I'll check in my Docker engine, yes, I got this image. So first of all, if you want to configure job by job, that is very easy, because you can configure it like this in one job or in one build step, and then you can use that in another one. So that's not a very challenging one, but you can try to find out answer if one job need to be connect or need to be deployed on all Jenkins machine, then how Jenkins will be connecting. Anyway, so what I did simply, first of all, you have to set a variable in this file, but setting the variable in this file is not going to work for Jenkins user, and the reason behind that, because Jenkins user is non-accessible, or I can say no login user. We cannot log in with Jenkins user. So as of now, the one solution is that you can set in the job itself. Okay, by the way, one more plugin I'm also showing you. So here in the plugin, you can install a plugin called delivery pipeline. Sorry, not install, in the available delivery pipeline. So that is, let me install it. So this plugin is basically for just to view your job in very much good way. So I'll be telling a case where that case would be something like this. So what I'm doing is simply I'm building my image here, but I'm deploying container here. So So what I'll tell you, if you want, your Jenkins can deploy your Docker image. Jenkins can create container here also, here also, here also from the build. So you have built that image, and that Docker image need to be tested on the server 1, server 2 and server 3. Okay, all the server in a same time. That means server 1, 2 and 3, because maybe this server has a IBM server, this is your Windows server, this is your Linux server, it can be, or maybe all Linux, this is your Ubuntu, this is your CentOS or Red Hat, this is your Fedora. So we have Docker engine, let's say 18 point, 19 point or something point, and we need to test this Docker image in everywhere. Okay, so how Jenkins will be connecting to, let's say 3, not 3 only, let's say 1,000 servers are there, where we have couple of incredible kind of testing. So in this case, when Jenkins or without Jenkins, a normal user want to create container from a same Docker image to the 1,000 or 100 servers, 100 to 1,000 or maybe number of server in 1 second or in one shot. Okay, so what we'll be using, so there is an automation tool called Ansible or Puppet or Chef. So by using any of the tool like this or this or this, what we can do, we can perform container creation or anything to the all target machine in one shot. So that means Ansible can connect to all server or Puppet or Chef, and it can use the same Docker image and create container in one shot. So you don't have to go manually one by one. It can connect parallelly. Right? So what tomorrow session it will be from my side, although this is not in the agenda, but now Jenkins plus Docker and plus Ansible, and we have 3 Docker engine here, Ubuntu, here Red Hat, and here Fedora. So after this, Jenkins will build a Docker image here. Now Ansible will connect to all 3 servers, and it will create container, same container, so that your Docker image is tested with the version 1 of server, another server. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be learning Ansible integration with this. I know maybe couple of people are not understanding Ansible. So by the way, how many of you understand Ansible? How many of you understand Ansible? So this is not in our Devops course, but it's very important tool. So I'll take one day, I'll give you one day to just tell you what exactly Ansible is. So Piyush, understand? Yes. What about others? No, yes. No, yes, no, yes, no. Okay, just a little. Okay, so that will be maybe tomorrow thing, so that we can deploy it, and likewise. So Ansible will be tomorrow, and day after tomorrow we'll be integrating all these, right? And by this Monday we will be learning new thing, that is Kubernetes. Okay, So this Monday will be for Kubernetes, but tomorrow and day after we'll be doing Ansible, and we'll be integrating with this. Okay, so this session so that you can understand the integration of Jenkins with Ansible. So a little request from everyone that Ansible is an automation engine. Okay, and this Ansible is purely written in Python, so you can easily understand, and you have to write the code in YML. And about YML you are already aware about because you have used in Docker Compose. So Python is the language that you know that. So Ansible is written in Python in simple words, but Ansible use YML language to write the implementation or deployment part. Fine. So anyway, this is something that I want to tell you. Now about project. So I'll decide the team of Python Django one, the group. Maybe I can make a 2 or 3 teams, or maybe we all can use the same team. That's up to us, but that's the way we're going to learn that. Okay, so try to explore Jenkins much. Okay, and you can use the plugins and couple of things likewise. So one last example I want to show you that let's say we have code plus Docker file. Let's integrate our compose file as well. Okay, so the job 1 that is here, it will be using these 2 files to build Docker image, build and push, whatever I can say, Docker image. But job 2 that will use this compose file to create containers. Okay, and these job will be dependent. So if this is successful, then this will be okay. So what I'll do actually, I'll just create a compose file, and in the compose file what I'll do, I'll use this my image, so 007, JavaScript is a problem actually. So my first job is this, and I'm creating another job. This is for deploy underscore containers, freestyle. Okay, and I'm just writing if build is success, then I want to run this job. And what I'll do, first of all I'll go there and create a new file called docker-compose.yml, and here I'll write version 3.7 services Ashutosh app, then the image is this colon v007. I think this is the same 007, and then container underscore name Ashutosh container 1, and ports 8877 80. Fine. So that will be the very simple image, and I'll just comment added compose file. Okay, and just committed it, taking that clone URL, and here in the GitHub I'll copy that, then in the build step I'll execute shell first docker -compose down if there is something, then making a sleep. Why I'm making down? Because maybe sometimes if the container is running it can down, and then another docker -compose f-d. So it will make it down first, wait for 2 seconds, then make it up. And I want to build this project after another project build. So it will be something build after other project, and that will be summer. I don't remember that project name. Okay, let's just save that as of now. So my first project is that I'm using is this one, April summer 2020 code. Okay, and the second, so April summer 2020. Fine, so I'll configure it again, and the last, or it's not a post build action actually. So what I'll go, I don't know. So to deploy containers. Okay, so in my first job I'll configure in the post action build another project, and that is container deploy, or what was that, deploy container? Yes, save. So I don't know how many of you are understanding, so let me just make it clear. First of all, I am deleting all other unnecessary project so that you can just understand it. Okay, so let me tell you what I have done. So April summer 2020 code, and this. So this is building your Docker image, and this is deploying your Docker image. So that means this job is using plugins to build your Docker image, and this job is using Docker Compose to deploy. So what I have done in the first job, if I click on configure, so I have two steps actually. See, the step is build. In the build we are building and pushing it, but in the post build, after the build successfully happen, I am building another project, and that is this one. And what this project is doing, this project is using Docker Compose file from the same URL and then doing this. That's it. Okay. So let's say if I am building this project, so this is having 4 build, but the another one is not having any kind of build. Okay. What I have to do, definitely I have to install Docker Compose first, because Compose is not installed. So Docker Compose install. Alright, in the next machine. And I'm just installing it in my Jenkins machine and making it executable. All set. And now let's do that. There is no build. So this kind of project, this kind of job in Jenkins, where the first is building that thing. Now the build can be anything, Docker image or jar file, but the job 2 is using that build to deploy your application. Okay, so for job 1 and job 2, we can say these are pipeline project. Okay, so these are kind of pipeline, or I can say one more keyword. Job 2 is main project and job 2 is a downstream project. Downstream. So with respect to job 1, job 2 is a downstream project, but with respect to job 2, job 1 is a upstream project. So if you want to count with respect to job 2, it's an upstream, and if you count it from here, it's a downstream. So terms are important. So let me just build that first project manually. So I'm building it manually. So this fifth one is getting built. Okay. And if I go back to job number 2, see, this container deployment is happening, and it got successfully built. So we don't have to worry about that. It's running, and whatever it was the port number, so I can simply use that. So I don't remember that port number, but I need to check. 777. So in my firewall, 777 I need to allow. So I'm adding another rule. 777. And then save. Alright, so let me just try to access. See, we have this. Now see, the magic you will see, if I just change in my code, I don't have to go back and check my Jenkins again. This is my code. Let me change it in my local system. Okay, so this is my local system where I have that project, and the project was Web Dev Summer, my portal. Okay, let me just do git pull first. So we have all this. Alright, on my portal, I'm just changing it to index.html. See, so as of now it's hello Docker with Jenkins, and I'm just changing with I love Jenkins. Just to add, just to commit, testing for my app, and just to push. So once you push it, I think I mistyped the password. Yes. Once I push it, what will be happening? So I'm here, I'm pushing it here on GitHub. Now job 1 is just checking for commit in every 1 minute, and then it is building, and then it is pushing images to Docker Hub, and if this image push is successful, second number job is deploying that container. And if I now refresh it, just refresh it, see, I love Jenkins. So this is the power of Jenkins tools. So you just change your source code in your local system once you push it on this. So let me tell you how Google is working on this DevOps engineering. Okay? So how Google is updating google.com or YouTube. It's the very same way, right? So they have set up all the server for the first time, then they are using Jenkins, maybe any other tool, and when the developer are making changes, okay, and then they have a couple of testing server. If everything is on, working, looks good or fine, then you don't even feel that when Google changes its logo. Okay, so even if you see how Google is maintaining that, see, every time you see a new thing here. So what they are doing, they are just changing in the code, and then everything is very much pre-planned. Although they don't have only 2 jobs, they have so many jobs where the reliability, security, deployment, containers, servers, database, so many things are getting updated. So they have around more than 20 jobs here to before deploying it, right? And that's why you're just seeing here, okay, some dates like this, someday they have a different kind of thing. So this is one, right? So by using DevOps, you can simply use that. Otherwise, bigger than DevOps is SRE. So in reality, actually Google is now using SRE. That is Site Reliability Engineer. So I'll give some insights about SRE as well, but let's explore first DevOps. And trust me, this is the most awesome tech or job ever, because SRE is invented by Google itself, right? And Site Reliability Engineer are the most highly paid and highly trusted engineer till now. Okay, so I hope you might be liking that Jenkins job. Just one thing, because I have installed that plugin, so I can just make a view of it, right? Yeah, so I'm giving, let's say, awesome Jenkins, and I'm delivery pipeline, clicking on OK, and in the last I'm adding a component, the main project, name of component my component. This is my initial project, and save. So what it's happening actually, so by creating a view by this button, you can see the first job, second job success, and we have built till now C5. Or I can configure it like to view more than 5 here. So every time you can just check here for job 1. All will be having all, but my awesome view will have same. And you can configure my awesome views by installing that library. Anyway, so you can just so you know what, Google have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so many steps. So I'll take that example also, but this is really awesome or code in Jenkins to get some awesome project. Okay, so if you really like this Jenkins, yeah, views. So, and if you understand today's session, just say yes in the chat window. So I can conclude today's session, and we'll talk about Ansible tomorrow, and then we'll integrate it again. Okay. Fine. Wonderful. So it's just a beginning, guys. When we jump to Kubernetes and we integrate so many things, you are going to be, crazy for that. Trust me, Jenkins, SRE, Kubernetes, Google, and everything is just a love. Okay. So I can just show you how big you have to think. Okay. So because a couple of people are really awesome, they are working day and night. So the way I worked in the last few years, so I can just show you that one of my profile. So here in this list, if you want to make the same agenda here, so in the Devops stack, you cannot imagine how many things we have. So in Devops I do a lot of things, and out of these bucket list, you just are learning GitHub, you are just learning Docker, and few idea about Ansible. And likewise we have so many big lists. And the same, because you know what, the programming and data science and machine learning is also having big domain. So likewise, and you have to make a list of bucket list of maybe so many projects you have to run, so many projects. Okay, so make some good project, and then you can try to put them on resume or LinkedIn or somewhere. Anyway, so hoping for the best that you guys are understanding it, and you will be doing a lot of research by saying Hakuna Matata. We are ending this session today, and we'll be continue tomorrow by just installing and understanding Ansible. Okay, so Jai Ho Hakuna Matata ki, and thank you so much, guys. See you tomorrow. And okay, enjoy, and we'll connect. Yeah, rhythm. I need to plan it by PPT, but it's a really easy method to earn in open source. Okay, I'll take example of Red Hat directly to give you answer. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much, and enjoy your work. See you tomorrow. And rhythm, you can connect me, or maybe I can take that example any other time. Okay, so I'm closing this, and all right.